It's your girl Candy K. Lynn,
And your boy Shawtown Shaw.
and it's time to.
Pull up
Hey guys, every Monday here on DFWIRadio.com, we talk.
sports news, hip hop.
Mr. Shaw, we are back, and today we are talking about relationships, which we haven't talked about in a while. And the reason that we're talking relationships is that I found something that was trending today, and it was Jeanie and Jeezy. They're expecting a baby.
I seen it.
And the reason that we're talking about it is our title for today is Love Changes. The reason that I thought that was interesting is because, again, here on Pull Up the Podcast, we talk about the headlines and not necessarily the people, but these situations present conversations. And Jeannie Mai was previously married to Freddie. She's been on The Real. This is season 8 of the show. She was married to a white male. Her last name was Mai still. She didn't change her last name. She did not want kids.
And she didn't feel protected.
She didn't feel protected. But Freddie was like an animal wildlife guy, if I'm not mistaken. But Freddie allegedly cheated on her and he had a baby. She didn't want kids with him. She's 42 years old. She's having a baby. And I thought this was interesting from following her story because I feel like, do you feel like certain people get a different reaction and response out of us in relationships? There's just certain people we're willing to do. We're willing to like go head first, even if it sounds crazy, but we're willing to create a different foundation.
I agree. I totally agree. I totally agree that when there are certain people that will make you change. Right? I didn't believe that. There are certain women that come into your life, and it might not be you changing for them. They might just be changing you to be a better person. And I know that the mother of my children came into my life to change me. Right? She helped me become a better person. Right? She helped me to look at things differently, see things differently. Somebody else might come into my life and show me something even more. You know, how a woman talks to you, how a woman, says things to you. You know what I'm saying? Like it. So again, you might be in love with this person, but they don't bring it. Every coach can't bring out the same. Every coach can't bring out the best in you, right? You might be a great coach for another player, but for me, you couldn't bring it out of me, right?
Right.
So in a relationship, there might be an energy that I can bring out of one person that I can't out of somebody else. That might be an energy that another man has brought out of them that they yearn for forever, right? And Kenny Kaylin, I was thinking about this earlier just for relationships. The thought process, like Jeannie Ma, she 40, right?
42.
Jeezy 40, right?
He's close. Yeah, he's 40-ish.
They did everything they wanted to do now. Now they're like, let's settle down. I think what people get lost in, like with marriage, if you find somebody and you love them and that's what you want for the rest of your life, fine. But the whole thought process of the same thing every day over and over. Nobody eats the same food. Nobody drinks the same drink. Nobody drinks the same alcohol. Nobody smokes the same marijuana. You want something different. So once you found that person that makes you not want something different, it's a different vibe. But I don't think people are selfish for saying, hey, I want to try something new. Nobody will eat the same thing over and over every day. But you're saying, you telling her to suck the same penis over and over every day. I'm going to come from a woman's perspective because as a man, horn, but men got to look at a woman's side. You think she want the same you every day? You think she want the same 4 moves you got every day? To where you want to go out, oh yeah, I'm not having, and again, I'm just being realistic as a man, like, because I take it back, I said, sex is cool for me, but after I got mine, Bernie Mac being said it, men after a certain age, any man that's trying to do it all day long ain't got nothing else going on. And I'm not being funny, like, cool, if we did it, then we do it again, cool, but we did it a third, cool, but we just laying up and we doing it all day, we ain't really getting no money. We must agree. Now, if we on vacation, we still don't need to be laying up all day because we on vacation.
There's a world to see.
You know what I'm saying? So again, there's nothing wrong with you being from from 18 to 25 and y'all getting it in all day, you know what I'm saying? I say 25 need to be cut off of playing around. By that time, you need to be back to money. Or putting yourself in position to where you're not struggling. Because I think so many people, like today, me and the mother of my children, we just rode through Lake Ridge, and I was like, how we going to get this? And we'll put in hard work. Right? You can't be normal and get there. Not together. Not together. Separate but equal. Separate but equal. All right, you know. So the thought.
I'm just the co-host.
No, what Jeanie Ma and Jeezy got is special. All right. And what Jeanie Ma first husband couldn't bring out of it, Jeezy was able to.
And what I think it is, so Jeezy is 43, she's 42.
Mm-hmm.
For me with relationships, you know, because I think I'm a little relationship expert and guru. The reality in relationships that I think, what did you say? That a lot of men.
She lying to y'all. She don't know how she gonna say it.
Men and women miss is the fact of it. What did you say? Nobody wants the same thing every day. So that requires us to adjust. That requires us to think differently. It requires us to move differently. You see, and celebrities, you see a portion of their life is what I want people to understand, right? Because no relationship is perfect. No, because nobody is perfect. Everything comes with its struggles. But as you said, it was something about Jeezy that made her marry again so quick. Not only was it something about him, it was also something about what they had special. I feel like with people, there are certain people that we just establish these intense bonds with. I don't think that the bonds and the relationships are the same within every relationship. There are some people that you're willing to be like, you know what? For this person, I'm going to do whatever it takes. I'm going to do whatever it takes. I'm going to give it my all. I'm going to show up and I'm going to be fully present all the time. For her name, right? I think that the name is also something that there needs to be a reason that I need to wear your last name. Because for me, for a long time, like, I was never changing my last name. It's still up in the air for me. Like, you need to come in and there is the safety, as she says. You need to feel like you're safe when you're in those situations. You need to feel protected. It's the love. It's the foundation that people build together. And so I believe that every relationship pulls something deeper from you, but it's also those bonds. It's having things in common. It's dealing with somebody that's like-minded, right? They're both career-driven. They already have careers. They know what they can sacrifice, but they also know, like, people talk power couples. Beyonce and Jay-Z are a power couple. But why is it individually in our own relationships that we can't see ourselves as a power couple? We don't need to be Jay-Z and Beyonce. Mm-hmm. We just need to be ourselves. Mm-hmm. But what can we do together to get to that next level, right? If I want to travel, I don't want somebody who's not willing to travel. I don't want somebody that's not willing to get up and go. If I can leave the United States and you can't, it makes a difference. You see what I'm saying? So I think that when we talk about relationships, we have to be willing to do something different. We have to be willing, like you said, you got to be willing as a man to get more than 4 moves and not be like, well, where'd you learn that from? The internet, fool. Like, you see what I'm saying? Like, I think men are pre-programmed, a lot of men, especially my age, with wrong information. A lot of times, and that's why I say I talk about love languages. If you've ever watched Situationship, we've talked about it on there. We speak different languages. And that's a lot of times what happens in relationships. But we have to work to learn to speak the other person's language.
Facts.
Like you said, men, you get yours and then you out. Well, what's she supposed to do?
I go no, see. You see, you handle. Listen, when you know you're not, because again, if I got time and that's what we doing, cool. But sometimes, first of all, that's love. If I don't really like you, I don't care. You ain't get your
right. So let's speak from a genuine perspective, right? Let's not talk
when
about.
I love you, first of all, let's get it out. Let's get it out. I'm trying to before my penis enter you. I'm trying to make sure you was already good. You was that. I already hit the sniper pose. 5 minutes, 10 minutes. What you need? If you ain't shaking it and jumping before I put it in, we need to get you right. We need to focus on that area right there, the little pearl right there. We need to put attention. Attention.
But everybody is different, right? Are we, when we're in these relationships, and it's not just, okay, so we're
If a
talking
girl
sexual
tell me that
intimacy.
she don't like, or we not supposed, we can't beat it because then she probably not going to do it with me. I'll
Well,
be just
but
goddamn
it's
if I
not
can't
that.
get in.
That may not be the only thing that gets her there, right? Stamina, right? So we've been taught that men want sex and they're so sex crazed. What happens when a woman has more sexual energy than a male? What if she has more stamina?
You better strap in for a ride, bud.
What do you do?
Either you run or you get ready for some of the best time of your life. You're gonna be tired, but you listen. If a girl says she ready, unless you just can't get it up, you supposed to get ready. Come on now, look. A girl with a high sex drive is a blessing because you don't got to worry about when you can get it. You just got to be able to keep up. Again, that comes with learning. Like you say, if you with somebody and your stamina ain't A1, well, you need to let them teach you. I'm telling you right now, I'm going to work on my body so my blood can pump smoother. That's what me and you look. The more healthy you are, the smoother your blood pump.
And but are we willing to do that? And that's what I say. That's why I think that like this relationship and the pregnancy, and she's 42. Remember, you know, everybody used to have this idea that women didn't have a baby by 30. It was pointless. We don't live in that society. That information was false anyway because women. You know, do you think that women had 15 and 16 kids and they had them all by the time they were 30? Like, we need to get back into reality. I think a lot of it is like getting to know people, having a conversation, adjusting, letting people teach you. And that's why I said men have been programmed to believe that they're supposed to be the ones in control of sex. Well, I don't know you. You just got with me. What you did with Shanika don't work with me.
Oh, no, did I say that every woman is the same?
No. But that's what we're like wrapping that up together, right? Because some people don't understand that, and every man is not the same.
Oh
every
my
man's
God.
body is not going to respond the same. He doesn't need the same things.
Tongue, lips, a whole lot of spit. You'll get him there, right? Two hands, some two hands, some
advisory is advised. Parental advisory is now advised.
What I said? Tongue, lip, whole lot of spit. That I ain't saying nothing wrong.
Warning, parental advisory. If your kids are listening, then turn it off.
If you licking on the blood pop, you got tongue, lips, a whole lot of spit, right? Ring pops, push up pops.
We're gonna have to go shout time after dark with this fool.
Man, come on, man. All I'm saying is with a woman, this is when you know this how I know men be out here just cheating with different people. Now, first of all, everybody nasty. Sex, first of all, nobody wearing condoms, and everybody doing oral. This is my thing, sir. If you sleeping with 3 different women, you can't sleep with all of them the same way. Because some women want to be licked on fast, some women want to be licked on slow. Some women, a lot of these women want to be roughly handled. Some women want you to spit on them. Some women want you to spit in their mouth. Like, there's so many different women. My biggest.
He ran the followers away. He said, "Spit in their mouths." They said, "Oh, the hell with this show."
hey, these younger women, freaky. Okay, you know what I'm saying? These young women do some things. So it's everybody's different. Every woman's different. You gotta, when you really love someone, when we talking about love, when you love someone, you learn their body. You learn what they love. You learn how they love to be touched.
And you learn to deprogram your mindset because traditionally people have been taught that women are supposed to be freaks in the sheets and men want to go marry a good girl and then go sleep with somebody who can bust it open all night long. The reality of it all for me is women need to be freaks at home, right? Because you don't want somebody that's inexperienced.
Both ways, men nor women. Don't know what women. Do women want men they have to teach?
Not really, but it happens sometimes. It happens sometimes.
I know men don't. I mean, I don't know.
Men are sometimes not good students. And that's why I say as people, we've all got to be good students in relationships are about leadership. They are about following. Right? We have to follow each other. We have to work together. Teamwork. A lot of these things that I think team sports teaches, that's why I'm a firm believer that kids should play team sports. You should really be on real teams to see how they operate. Because If I'm playing basketball and I like the ball at the top of the key, but you're on my team and you want the ball in the corner. If I'm the guard, I need to get you the ball where you like the ball, in your sweet spot. It's the
Facts.
same concept. You have to be able to understand that as a teammate, you have to understand your teammate. You have to bond with your teammate. So these things that everybody's talking about on the internet, that I think people will go, oh, well, toxic behavior is just a word. No, toxic behavior is a real thing. Everybody needs to identify their toxic triggers. Everybody needs to understand that self-care is necessary. Date night is important. Intimacy, mental intimacy. Are you mentally connected to your partner? Do you know how to do that?
Mental connection. That's real love right there.
You have to understand that those things matter. And I think that when a man makes a woman feel comfortable, for women who are not just chasing a man, then these ideas and concepts kind of change, because it's like, okay, I want to be his wife. I want to wear his last name. I want to, I want to bring life into the world with this person to carry on a legacy, because we've built a foundation.
I'm
Like,
truly at the point when it comes to relationships, whatever God holds for me, I'm not making no stuff. But if
no
God has,
rush.
trust me, I'm not. Trust me, I'm not. If God has somebody for me, whatever the case may be, and if it don't, then I'm gonna be happy regardless. But that person, I don't want that woman to be out here looking dumb. Right? You know how most men be out here cheating, have a woman looking. I don't want her. I want her to proudly be able to say, post me and say, "This is my man," and nobody come to the inbox, girl. Let me tell you, I don't want that. Right? Like, I think that is the most left-handed. And as a man, you make mistakes, but you got to be better. You just have to be better.
I agree, right? And that's the reason that as women we need to be making wiser decisions. Everybody is not, and again, one of the key things that I said that I want people to take away from this conversation is love changes things. You got to build a foundation. You have to build a foundation. We can't, sometimes we're settling. Sometimes we don't know ourselves. And that's why I say self-care is important, because you need to take care of yourself. Who are you? What do you want? I think as people, we lie to ourselves. We've been taught that, I met a lot of people. I don't think they know that they're supposed to have like emotions. They have a right to be like, I don't like this. Be honest with who you are. Be truthful. I just like to have, I think sometimes people need to say, men and women, I just like having a lot of sex with different people. You don't necessarily want to be in a relationship. You just want to have a lot of sex with a lot of people. Then you probably should be single. There are some people that are clingy. They need to be loved. But you got to acknowledge those. What are your issues? And that's why I say self-care, mental intimacy is important, because if you don't know who you are, you need to
Don't
know that people can't deal with that. Like, I need to know if you clingy, because I ain't with it.
don't get in a relationship until you're not really in a relationship until you guys have talked about those things right there. And if you're clingy and I'm not, it's not fair for you to force your clinginess on me. Then we just don't need to be together, right? That is a reason to break up with somebody. She's too clingy. Because I'm not somebody who wants you up under me all the time. Because I'm trying to think, I'm trying to process, I'm trying to work. I can't work if your nose is on my neck. Get your nose out of me. And
But those are things
sometimes
we should talk about, right? Because again, love language.
people won't believe. Like, how many people gonna believe me if I tell them I was putting folks out of my room at 6 I had a business plan?
Most people aren't. Most people aren't going to believe you. But again, did you state that prior to going into a relationship? Because we spend so much time, I think we spend so much time having sex and doing other things that we forget to discuss the things that matter. And most people suck at communication. That's like the number one factor of why I think that people get married to people that they don't know, they don't like, that they don't belong with. Communications. You've got to be able to communicate. the good, the bad, the ugly, as you say, to discuss the fact that I need time alone to think. That's called self-care. I need me time. There are some people who need times with their boys or with their homegirls. There are people who need family time. There are just certain things for certain people that are already priority. So you got to wrap all of that stuff in to one and be able to move forward doing other things. You know, there's 24 hours in the day. 24.
7 days a week.
7 days a week. And sometimes I'm always amazed at what people say, well, I don't have time to do. Do you not have time to do it, or you're a bad manager of your time?
That one.
Because you're gonna be a bad manager of your time on those jobs, and that's why we see people go to college and can't stay. We see people get in relationships and they can't go to work. Like, it always kills me when I used to be young girls, when I first started working, it'd be like they was laid up. Like, sis, what did you do last night that you had to roll it over to this morning for 2 days?
People
time management, like, that goes into that foundation building, right? So
we're not taking time to talk about time management, dog.
To talk about it, then we're not gonna build. Like, how do you build a house? Do you just go put the door on, or do you need a frame for the door?
Kenley, you know what get me with communication? It's like, okay. So I'm not gonna go personal, but I get told that I don't communicate well, and I just feel like you can't say that to me. Okay, if someone says you don't communicate well, if you can't get 5 people to say that, then I'm not listening, right? Because I believe it's for us. We're siblings. We're growing. With what?
I think that's a fine line, right? Because the way that you communicate with me may not be the same way that you're communicating in intimate settings.
Why is that?
Because people may not hear you. It's a variety of reasons why.
So is it me not knowing how to communicate, or them not knowing how to receive the communication I'm giving?
Well, let's be honest. People think we talk too damn much.
You signed up for this.
People who meet us think we talk too much. We think we know everything. So a lot of times they're no longer listening as we're trying to explain, share. They don't want to hear it. So as you said, now you seem like the bad communicator. Well, they never heard you anyway. Mm-hmm. So communication is a two-way street. It's hearing. It's hearing and it's speaking. It's listening and it's processing. There's different levels to communication. And that's the reason why the foundations are never built, because most people don't like to talk. And I think a lot of what I've come across with men, they feel like what's understood doesn't need to be explained. Well, what the hell? What I understood in my mind may not be what you understood in your mind.
Mm-hmm.
So we don't really have an understanding. So then you got women who are out here freaking delusional, and men, on the other hand, that are also freaking delusional because what's understood didn't need to be explained. So you thought that your actions and your behavior communicated we're not together.
It wasn't understood, so we have to explain it. That's what kills me. And so it be stuff. It just be stuff throughout my life. Okay, you know you gotta say we've been good for 3 days. You know you and that person don't get along well when you gotta say stuff like we've been good for 3 days. That's not good. We've been good for 3 days. That's not what you're supposed to say to somebody. So for me, communication, love languages, you gotta be honest about yourself.
And your actions, right? Because we all got to change. That's the reality of it. We've all got to change. I can guarantee you, I could put 10 people in the room, and of those 10 people in the room, if a counselor was breaking it down or we were just having a conversation, we all got some things that we can work on. Thanks. Because everything that we learned doesn't work. And before we get out of here, relationships, a lot of times we are demonstrating what we have seen. I'm sorry, if you've never seen marriage, you probably don't know what a marriage is supposed to look like. So you're bringing insecurities from never seeing a marriage. And did you see all of the marriage? Who did you talk to? I'm a big, like we talked about Tom Brady's leadership, right? Mm-hmm. You identified that Tom Brady's leadership was present on display, even after throwing 5 touchdowns yesterday.
Mm-hmm.
He talked about the 8 times that he missed Antonio Brown being open, right?
Mm-hmm.
He missed AB being open. I'm a big believer in men and women not leaning on their own understanding, because again, the way that you interpreted it may not be really what it is.
I agree.
And you're sending mixed signals. So, salute. This conversation was about Jeanie Mai and Jeezy and love changes. What happens when you get safety and protection and you're able to work through your childhood traumas, that you change your perspective on marriage. You change your perspective on love and kids. So I just hope anybody out there who's had questions or you think about it, give love a chance, okay? This is your girl, Candy K. Lynn.
And your boy, Shawton Shaw K, the Fat Mama.
Guys, and thank you for joining us for another episode of Pull Up the Podcast. Until next week,
yeah,
we out.